Talpa's Lesson in the Dark. Deep under the roots of the ancient oak tree lived a young mole named Talpa and his mother, Eartha. Their home was cozy, warm, and very dark, just the way moles like it. While Eartha spent her mornings tidying the tunnels, Talpa spent his time thinking of ways to seem extraordinary. "Mother," Talpa said one evening as they sat by the glow of a small lantern, "did you know that I am not like other moles? I have a secret gift. I can see just as well as the hawks that fly above the trees." He stood on his tiptoes and looked toward the ceiling of their dirt home. Eartha was a very wise mole. She knew that moles were built for digging and smelling, not for seeing sharp details in the distance. She stopped her knitting and looked at her son with a kind, knowing smile. "Is that really so, Talpa?" she asked gently. "That would be a very rare gift indeed." "Yes," Talpa cried, scurrying to the end of the room. He pointed into a dark, shadowy corner where a tiny tree root dangled from the wall. "I see a shimmering beetle over there, polishing his emerald shell, and if I look up, I can see the silver light of the moon through the thick dirt." He squinted his tiny eyes very hard. Eartha knew Talpa was telling a tall tale to make himself feel important. She wanted to help him understand that being yourself is better than boasting. She stood up and walked to a small wooden chest hidden behind a curtain of ivy. Inside was a treasure she had found near the surface. Talpa waited by the tunnel entrance, his chest puffed out with pride. He was sure he had convinced his mother that his eyes were as sharp as needles. "You can test me if you like," he bragged, wagging his little velvet tail. "I can see anything you show me, no matter how small." Eartha walked back to her son and held a small, hard nugget between her paws, right in front of his face. It was a piece of frankincense, gold and translucent like a drop of honey. "Tell me then, my clever son," she said. "If your eyes are so sharp, tell me what this object is." Talpa leaned forward until his whiskers brushed the object. He stared and stared, but all he could see was a blurry, dark shape against the light. He didn't want to admit he couldn't see it. It is a pebble," he shouted. "A smooth, gray pebble from the stream." Eartha shook her head gently and patted Talpa on the shoulder. "No, my dear, it is a piece of frankincense. You could not see what it was, but I noticed something else. You were so busy trying to use your eyes that you forgot to use your nose. If you had smelled it, you would have known its sweet scent instantly." Talpa realized that by pretending to see, he had forgotten the wonderful senses he actually had. He hugged his mother and promised to be honest from then on. He didn't need to see the moon or the beetles. He was happy to be a mole with the best nose in the whole forest.